Hello and welcome to our weekly program Close Up. I'm Daniel Kasahun. As we normally do, in this edition, we entertain two items about Ethiopian Coffee Expo and the 16th Annual General Assembly of African Roads Maintenance Fund Association. Let's first see about Ethiopian coffee. Ethiopia is the birthplace of coffee with thousands of varieties. The first Ethiopian Coffee Expo, held last week at the Millennium Hall in Addis Ababa, aimed at promoting Ethiopia's coffee ceremonies through coffee carnival and promoting uniqueness of Ethiopia's coffee to abroad. Our staff reporter, Jerusalem Betsaha, tells us more about the expo that brought together coffee growers, processors, exporters, and researchers among others. The exhibitors said the expo is an ideal platform to expand their market linkage. Take a look.
Ethiopia is a proved source of human race with archaeological findings that date back to millions of years. That's why the country's Ministry of Culture and Tourism waves its logo with land of origin. Ethiopia is not only first in mankind, but also various wildlife and plant species are endemic to Ethiopia. Here we can mention Ethiopian coffee. It's one of the contributions of the country to the whole world. Ethiopia is not only the birthplace of coffee, but also it has over 6,000 varieties of coffee. In addition, Ethiopia has also a long history in practicing coffee ceremony. This custom has become an integral part of Ethiopian culture across the country. The ceremony of Ethiopian coffee begins with washing the coffee beans and roasting them in a pan on small fire or coal. The long-handled pan is slowly held and shaken over the fire until the coffee beans start to pop and to turn dark brown. The roasted coffee fills the air with aromatic smell and the fume can be offered to guests. Then pounded to powder and boils in a coffee pot called jabena to drink Ethiopian coffee. Sidelines of the coffee making, incense is burned on hot coals to produce yet another aromatic smells. Ethiopia is considered to be the oldest exporter of coffee and it accounts the lion's share of the country's foreign exchange earnings.
Coffee is militating for Ethiopian economy and for Ethiopian citizens. It contributes 30% of the export generation. Again, it is a means of life and income for 25 to 30% of the total population. Again, I think in the value chain, there is many citizens, their income and livelihood depend on coffee. We expect this share will increase based on this new vision of this authority.
In connection with this, the first Ethiopian Coffee Expo was held last week at the Millennium Hall in Addis Ababa to promote Ethiopia's coffee ceremony through coffee carnival and promoting uniqueness of Ethiopia's coffee to abroad. Participants of the expo talked about the unique features of Ethiopia's coffee and the reason why they invest here in the coffee business.
We know the Ethiopian coffee. Ethiopia is the birthplace of the coffee, and Ethiopian coffee is the best quality. So this year we'd like to invest here to get the very good quality coffee materials and then make it instant coffee to supply all over the world.
One of the uniqueness of Ethiopia is it has the wide varieties, which is as per the regionals. We talk about different regions with the different coffees. Sidamo, Aral, Yara-Kachef. When I compare with the neighboring countries like Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, there are few of them. So one of the key uniqueness of Ethiopia is many varieties, and it has its own uniqueness in terms of quality. So every region contributes a lot for the Ethiopian coffee.
On the occasion, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change said efforts are underway to improve coffee quality and productivity.
My ministry is engaged in addressing forest degradation and deforestation mainly. The production and productivity of coffee is highly dependent on the tree cover, because coffee produces good quality beans when it is growing under the shade. So the efforts of the ministry in terms of addressing degradation, forest degradation and deforestation will help in sustaining the return, economic return that the country is getting from coffee production.
Among the objectives of the expo is creating partnership between coffee growers, processors, exporters and researchers, among others. The exhibitors said the expo is an ideal platform to expand their market linkage.
It's a media for all coffee producers and exporters and buyers as well. So that means if you're exporters, if we are exporters, if there are buyers, this is a chance to meet buyers.
At the event, there is more advantages because this expo, we are going to do a brand awareness of Black Lion, and at large, for those who are tourists who are coming in, we are going to do more of Ethiopian brand, which is Ethiopian coffee. So there is more advantage, creating awareness, meeting different buyers for both local and international.
Initiating partners to work together for efforts of registering the Ethiopian coffee tradition and culture as intangible cultural heritage was also another objective of this Ethiopian Coffee Expo.
This expo will help us in promoting our coffee ceremony to the rest of the world. That can be actually recorded as one of heritage, intangible heritage under UNESCO. This will help us in reaching more people in the world, reaching in more countries, so that people know Ethiopian coffee very well, and that means they will buy our coffee better, and that means more economical return to the country. So the economical benefit at grassroots level, at the community level, and at national level will be enhanced. So it will have significant economical, social importance.
Regardless on the great social significance of coffee to Ethiopians, it deserves safeguarding and promotion. While addition to Ethiopian coffee is a step forward the country is working on since it continues to be one of the major export earners to the country.
Our second item is about the 16th Annual General Assembly of African Roads Maintenance Funds Association. On the platform, the International Road Federation urged Africa to attach as much focus to roads maintenance as to roads construction. This is meant to realizing Agenda 2063 of the African Union. Meanwhile, Ethiopia Minister of Transport says road infrastructure is a catalyst to meet targets of poverty reduction and regional integration. The event is dubbed Reserving Our Road Asset for Realizing Agenda 2063. Shfarao Lakao tells us more about the assembly. Hope you enjoy it.
Many African economies have experienced significant growth in recent years. Prospect of the economy is forecasted positive by the World Bank, IMF, African Development Bank, and the United Nations. This growth is to some extent attributed to infrastructure developments in the emerging countries. In this regard, the International Road Federation commends Africa to attach as much focus to roads maintenance as to roads construction. With this in mind, 35 African countries established Annual General Assembly of African Roads Maintenance Funds Association, ARMFA, in 2003. A non-political, non-governmental association, ARMFA offers a platform for exchange of information and ideas among member countries to create enabling environment to realizing Agenda 2063.
Africa Road Maintenance Fund Association came into picture to collectively unlock the immense economic potentials that this continent possesses by drawing the motivation and inspiration from which the association was founded, to serve as experience sharing platform that enables member countries to have comprehensive road maintenance system with the intention of promoting preservation as part of road asset management system and ensures cost effectiveness over the full economic life of the road network throughout private-public partnership.
The aspiration of Agenda 2063 and the vision encompasses an integrated continent, politically united, based on the ideals of Pan-Africanism and the vision of the African Renaissance. It is envisioned that by 2063, the necessary infrastructure will be in place to support Africa's accelerated integration and growth, which will include high-speed railway, road networks, shipping lines, sea and air transport. A Pan-African high-speed train network will connect all the major cities and capitals of the continent.
A member of ARMFA says Ethiopia has been giving a boost to its roads infrastructure as part of regional integration.
In line with ARMFA principles, Ethiopia has recognized the importance of road transport in supporting social and economic growth and its role as a catalyst to meet poverty reduction, targeted by placing increased emphasis on improvement of the quality and extent of road infrastructure in the country. To address constraints in the road sector and related to restricted road coverage network and poor conditions, we formulated a comprehensive road sector development program which we have started to implement since 1997. Road network coverage has been expanded to support the socio-economic development of our country. We have also been working toward transforming the country into a land-linked one, linking Ethiopia with its neighbors through a high-standard road and rail network to facilitate economic integration and play a pivotal role in responding to the global market dynamics.
Chair of the International Roads Federation also says Africa has an enormous potential of growth in multifaceted spheres.
The potential for growth of Africa is tremendous. World Bank investment up to September 2017 has been $65 billion, with focus areas being agricultural productivity, access to affordable and reliable energy, strengthening the fragile and conflict-affected areas, promoting quality education and health, as well as road infrastructure. It has vast land reserves, rich in natural resources. There is immense potential for solar energy, favorable for industrial growth. Africa is emerging as a promising destination for investment from developed and other developing countries of the world.
However, the continent needs to overcome a number of challenges pertaining to its road infrastructure.
Road networks are the lifeline of a country's economy. Transportation and movement of vehicles, peoples, goods, services, etc. throughout the day and well-connected network is essential for a strong economy. The percentage of paved roads reflect a strong economy. Stronger economies in countries such as Denmark, France, UAE, UK, Ireland, etc. boast of 100% paved roads. Growing economies such as China, India, Malaysia, Indonesia, South Korea have paved roads from 40 to 70%. Many African countries still have paved roads less than 20%.
The continent also needs to carry out timely maintenance on the roads for maximum benefits from the potentials.
In the pursuit of Africa's sustainable economic growth, which we recognize it to be contingent on the development of reliable road infrastructure, coupled with proper maintenance and preservation, there is therefore hardly any need to emphasize the importance of scaling up and accelerating the road development backed up with regular road maintenance and road safety measures. And here comes the relevance and timeliness of the theme of this annual General Assembly meeting, which is preserving our road assets for realizing Agenda 2063.
During the expansion of road infrastructure, most often emphasis was placed on construction of roads with little or no budgeting done for its maintenance, since road deterioration occur over long periods of time and are perceived only when they are advanced. However, the unanticipated increase in vehicular traffic has exerted pressure on road surface, with axle loads exceeding design capacity of pavements, leading to their early deterioration. Depending on the traffic, the newly paved roads with inadequate maintenance deteriorate slowly and almost imperceptibly during the first 10 to 15 years, which is half to two-thirds of their service life, after which the deterioration is more rapid.
Kiran suggests enhancing roads' lifespan as a remedy to the issue which comes from attitudinal change.
The need of the hour is an attitudinal change, how we view our roads. They are valuable assets which needs to be preserved for our own posterity and wealth. Seed funding for sustained preservation of roads. Public education for their participation and support to protect the assets. Necessary legislation and policy directives. We also need to work on continuous R&D for better road construction and preservation. Continuous skilling of personnel, technology upgradation, database management and defined timelines are the need of the hour, and we must work on them.
As Director General of Ethiopian Roads Fund, Rashid Mohammed says Ethiopia has allocated a large sum of money for roads repairs purposes.
Ethiopia Road Fund was established as a financial platform to avail adequate resources for road maintenance here in the country. Accordingly, we are collecting about 2.5 billion Ethiopian birr annually, and we allocate that budget to different road agencies so that they maintain the road network annually.
He adds Ethiopia is well positioned compared to other African countries in terms of its roads standards and repairs.
In Ethiopia, we have a clearly defined policy that dictates how roads should be maintained. So Ethiopia dedicated a huge amount of resources to construct well-structured roads, and at the same time, the Road Fund office is mandated to annually maintain those roads. So compared to other African countries, we can say relatively we are better off in maintaining our roads, and we have a good standard roads here in Ethiopia.
The 35 member countries are devoting time discussing how to widen and enhance resources for continual roads development in order to meet the targeted thematic goal of realizing Agenda 2063. This is the very essence of the 16th Annual General Assembly of ARMFA Ethiopia is hosting for the second time this week.
Well, dear viewers, that wraps up the program in this edition. Many thanks for joining us. See you next time with yet another edition of the program Close Up. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.